I was born with a strange gift. The ability to see what no human being has ever seen before. It's all mixed up in my head. The images, the sounds, the smell. I need to remember. Put things in order right up to this moment. Remember who I am. If I had to say how it all began, I might just as well start here.
When a title is specifically designed for Sony and the PlayStation 3, you see a lot of thrillers or a lot of action sequences. Rarely do you see a narrative drama. Beyond Two Souls starts off exactly there.
Did someone try to hurt you? How about there you are. How you doing today, Jody?
The story builds on the main character of Jodie Holmes, this young girl who is connected physically to a ghost called iGyaan, and how their life changes when she gets inducted into a research facility and then later on into the CIA. Jodie, who's oblivious to how things are different with her, is constantly protected by iGyaan, the ghost connected to her via a physical cord. Now, iGyaan can be either very angry or protective and nice, depending on how the environment around you is controlled.
Straight through. Are you ready, Aiden? Let's go. I need you now.
The user gets the ability to interact with both main characters of the game, iGyaan in the spiritual world and Jodie in the physical world. The storyline builds from different timeline to timeline of Jodie's life and shows you how she was as an infant, as a teenager, and then later on as an adult. But the story does not progress in one particular direction. It goes from infancy to adulthood, back to childhood, and just moves around depending on storyline to storyline.
I knew I should have worn something else.
dresses?
Another thing that Quantic Dream has built into the storyline of Beyond Two Souls is that the game changes based on how the user interacts with the surroundings or with the game. So your storyline changes as and when you progress, and which makes it a really interesting game to play if you're going to be playing it again and you want to change the circumstances, change the scenarios, you get a different, completely different storyline altogether. Now, the characters of the game are fairly easy to spot out. The drastic, realistic nature of the game makes you really connect with the characters and makes you really want to associate with each individual character of the game. And you almost start to feel bad for the main character, Jodie Holmes, who's played by Ellen Page, by the way, if you haven't already guessed. You can also easily spot out the other characters in the game. As you can see, William Dafoe here plays one of the lead researchers who plays a vital role in Jodie's life from infancy all the way up to adulthood.
You'll have fun, maybe meet some new friends.
The characters are really realistic, and the new technology used maps them real time and brings out the characters that you see in front of you.
Oh, don't forget your present. It's a book of poetry by Poe. It's 50 years old and very rare. I'm sure she'll like it. Don't worry.
The story is essentially based on real life scenarios and how the world perceives a human being in different natures, but it also works around how there are ghosts and there's violence and there's anger and all those things happening in the overall game. Now, gameplay on Beyond is fairly simplistic to begin with. When you start off the game, you almost start to feel bored and nullified with the fact that you only have to move the left toggle stick to move around in the environment and the right stick to basically interact with the surroundings. So anything that you can interact with shows up with a white dot, and then when you move Jodie around it and use the right stick to move towards that white dot, Jodie interacts with that subject. So if it's opening doors, turning on music, or even picking up objects, it's all done with the right stick. But the game progresses on and you go into action sequences, firing guns, taking cover, and even hand combat. But the controls mostly remain simplistic and the right stick becomes the major usage panel for the whole fight sequences as well. Then again, the gameplay is not very extreme and you can't basically compare it with a lot of other games that you would play on a PlayStation. This is a narrative drama and it continues to remain that throughout the storyline.
Bang. Fuck. Do we have to spend the whole fucking night here? Let's do it again.
Every time you fail at whatever you're doing, you start off back at the checkpoint and you start over again. So it's not very difficult and it's not very tedious, but it is a storyline that you feel compelled to finish the minute you start playing the game. In conclusion, Beyond Two Souls could have been a lot more than it is, but Sony and Quantic Dream have once again shown the power of real-time graphics and real environments with this game. With every bit of scene, you can see the kind of detail that has gone into building the environment and building the expansive scale of graphics, essentially designed to make this game look a lot more realistic, to make you relate with the overall gameplay experience. The game does not fail to build the attachment with the main characters, and you almost start to empathize, and with each part of her life, you almost start to relate with the main character. Essentially, Sony and Quantic Dream have achieved what they aimed to do in the first place. They've built a storyline based around two souls attached physically via a cord, the life of the girl and how she needs to react in physical situations, and the circumstances in which the ghost comes in, protects her, heals her, becomes this vengeful, villainous, jealous, violent ghost, at the end of it protecting her from the realities of life. The game thrills from time to time, involves the user and activates emotion at a deeper level. The storyline is so evolved, it feels like a real-time movie that allows for you to interact and change the course of the storyline. It's almost a brilliant new take at gaming, and it ensures that it doesn't bring you back any memories of past gaming experiences. If you own a PlayStation, this game may not be one that you could miss out on. And the fact that you can play the game again and again in different scenarios makes it an even better option. The game can be split into 2 players and 1 character can be controlled by individual players, which makes it a great multiplayer game but limiting it to 2 players.
No choice.
For more details on Beyond
Straight through.
Two Souls, visit iGyaan.in. If you have any questions, queries, do drop them in the comment section below. Check out more gaming news and reviews on iGyaan.in, and make sure you subscribe for more videos on iGyaan. youtube.com/iGyaan, youtube.com/iGyaanTV.